The past is present here at the birthplace. You may be like me in that you may sometimes take for granted we've got such a cool site here to remember the life of Elvis Presley. But just like Tupelo's native son, this place, the birthplace, has an interesting past as well. Memphis has Graceland. Tupelo has the birthplace. And it is here people come to see where life started for Elvis Presley.
I've been to Memphis before. We did Graceland and Sun Studio and all the, the electrifying places. But you have to come to the birthplace. You have to.
What we see today is nothing like what folks saw back in the day. This postcard was the building as a youth center, which Elvis asked the city to build with money he made from his 1957 Tupelo concert.
This was the poor side of town, the wrong side of the tracks. By the way, I was one of those kids. We had nothing over here.
Birthplace Executive Director Roy Turner says Elvis did the same thing the year before, so the city, at his request, could buy the birthplace home and some land for a park.
I think it speaks volumes about Elvis that this was a 21-year-old rock star thinking about the kids back home. And if he hadn't been thinking about us then, we wouldn't have this to celebrate him today.
The home officially opened to the public in the early 1970s. The chapel, the late 1970s, after his death. The museum and the now former youth center in the early 1990s. And more came to this site to help the world remember Tupelo's native son, who touched the world like no other. Now, I have to admit, I did not know much about the history of this property until I was doing research on it for this story. And something else I didn't know was that there is so much more to the Elvis Presley birthplace. Now, most folks who come here, they know about the museum. They know about the statues down close to Elvis Presley Drive, the chapel, that sort of thing. But not everybody gets to see the entire park, and that includes this statue right here, Becoming, which shows a young Elvis growing into the Elvis the world came to know and love. For now, we are live in Tupelo at the Elvis Presley birthplace. I'm Craig Ford, WTVA 9 News.
And we continue our coverage of Elvis with hearing from the King's family and the cast of the new movie out in theaters on Friday. WTVA's Alyssa Martin joins us live in the studio with their reaction to the new film.
Well, Emily, getting the chance to talk to Priscilla Presley, along with the cast of the Elvis movie, Tom Hanks, Austin Butler, just simply a once-in-a-lifetime incredible opportunity. We first told you on Friday, Daniela Oropeza and I had the chance to watch the Elvis movie right next door to Graceland at the Guest House Hotel. That was during a special movie screening. Before that screening, the cast of the Elvis movie took some time to interview. One of the things I wanted to know was what exactly is their reaction to the film. A lot of people have tried to portray Elvis, but how is this movie different?
The Elvis that people aren't familiar with often is like that young rebel Elvis that was so exciting. And all those moments in his life when people told him to do one thing and he stayed true to his vision. And so I'm excited for people to get to see just the extraordinary man that he was.
And one of the great pleasures I got out of it was periodically I got to watch Elvis himself, because when Austin Butler walked onto the set, you couldn't take your eyes off him, and he had an uncanny, not just, I'm not talking about a resemblance, there was an incarnation of Elvis Presley.
This film hits home big time. Austin Butler did absolutely an amazing job playing Elvis Presley. That you feel you're looking at Elvis.
Austin Butler added for 2 years he studied Elvis Presley and submerged himself in his life and music to be able to step in the role of the king. Now, throughout this week, we will continue to share more of what the cast and Elvis's family had to say from Memphis. Make sure you stay tuned to WTVA 9 News for our special coverage of Elvis leading up to the movie premiere this Friday. Emily, back to you.